Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Alicia. I love all things beauty and makeup. If you're into that kind of thing, then I hope you'll stick around and subscribe. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and if you want to be notified for all of my future content, then make sure you hit that notification bell. Today we are going to be testing out the new Hipdot and Clueless collection. Now, I haven't tried anything from Hipdot previously, so that is going to be new to me as well. And we've got a lot of stuff to try out. So we've got an eyeshadow palette, a face palette, and then 3 lip oils. So grab yourself a cup of coffee because it's going to be a long one. So I have you guys pulled in a little bit closer now. I figured we would start with the eyeshadow palette just because I don't know how these eyeshadows perform. So I figured I would do my eyes first in case we have any fallout. That way we could eliminate, any issues we may have. I only have on so far on my face my skincare and then the ABH eyeshadow primer. Okay, so this is the palette when you get it out of the packaging. It is so freaking cute, so on trend, Clueless. I was a 90s baby, so this, whenever I saw it, I was like, yes, ma'am, I have to have that. But it is like this like furry shag, and then these are 2 like metal pins. So you've got Clueless, and then this one says Hipdot here. The outer packaging for these is like a clear pink, and I thought that was very on trend too. Like, not that this matters at all, but I just thought it was very cute how they presented it. Now we're gonna go ahead and open this up. I don't want to blind you guys, but it's got, ooh, here, y'all can look at my dirty desk. The mirror itself says Total Betty on it, and then these are the colors that we're working with here. So obviously I'm wearing like a pink, little dress. So I thought I would kind of stick more of like the pink, purple, peachy type of route. We'll see. I don't have anything planned. So I'm just gonna dig in and see what we come up with. I'm gonna pull you guys in a little bit closer just so you can get a better view of the eyeshadow application, and we'll go from there. Okay, I think I have a plan of what I want to do. I am gonna start off with this shade here, which is Highly Selective. It's just like a nice kind of peachy pink color. And I'm just going to use a little crease brush to do that. Tapping my brush off, and you can see the excess that's coming off of there. Well, these shades are very pigmented. Like I said, I am not familiar with this formula at all, so this is a first for me as well. Very pigmented. That was just one, little tap into the product. I do have some kick up. That just means that the eyeshadows are not as tightly pressed into the pan. Kick up doesn't bother me. It bothers some people. To me, I just know that that is a formula that I need to lightly tap in. It's going to be very pigmented and it's going to blend. Usually the ones that are powdery like that blend like a dream. So that's just kind of an overview. But there definitely is some kick up in the pan, and I'll kind of try to show you. I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but yeah, you can see there is a little bit, not too bad. It's not like some of the ABH ones. Okay, so I am bringing this hella high up here. The next color that I think I am going to go into is this one here, Fat. And I am going to put that into the crease as well, but like more in the socket part, like in the actual crease itself, not blended all over like we did that other color. And this is just going to enhance your eye shape and really give it some more definition. And again, I'm dipping my brush in there and tapping off the excess. You can always add more. It is a lot harder to take away. So that is my philosophy with all things makeup. I really like how that's blended. I feel like both colors really stick out on their own. Like they didn't muddy each other up. I can see the peachy pink, and then I can see that color. They blended together, but not so much that you can't pick out those colors, if that makes sense. But they do blend nicely together. All right, I am going to continue with that same shade, Fat, and I'm going to put that just in the outer corner over here, again, to deepen it up and give it some dimension. And all I'm doing is literally just tapping my brush on my eye. Like no real pressure, just a little tapping motion. And then with any excess, I'm just gonna put it, you know, in that crease. Okay, so next, I really, really want to go into Whatever. I think that that shade is so fun. I think I'm going to do a little bit of Totally Paused, which is this shade here. And I'm going to use that same brush. And it's essentially like that same shade, but just with a little bit of shimmer. So where we ended that shade, that's where I'm going to start tapping this one. And I'm not going to take it more than like halfway because I want to add that lighter shade on there. That looks so pretty. This is a dry brush and you can see it's pretty metallic. Very nice. Okay, now we're gonna go into Whatever, which is the shade here. And by far out of this palette, like this shade and this one are the ones that stick out to me. And of course I love this shade too. But I'm going to put this one all over the lid. Now with my lid color, I usually always apply it with my finger, just in general. I think that that is the way you get the most impact and are really able to blend it in and seamlessly into those other shades because the heat from your finger will kind of meld those colors together. So that is what I'm going to do. And look at this shade. So freaking, oh, I can't. It's kind of like duochromy as well. So I'm gonna kind of meld it, like I said, with that last shade. And there we go. All right, so now that we have that done, I'm gonna go back into that first brush that we used, and I'm gonna go into the first shade that we used, which was that peachy, you know, pink type of a color, Highly Seductive. And I'm just going to go into the crease again and go just on all of our outer edges. Okay. Barely picked up any product at all and very lightly went over everything. That's just to make it, again, like seamless. And now I'm going to take like a fluffy brush and I am going to go into Botticelli, which is this shade here. And I'm going to try to use that as a highlight. So we'll see how that works. So I'm just going to put that up here. Yeah, that works nice. It's definitely like a peachy type of a shade. So it kind of works well with that peachy pink. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to match this other eye. So I know I'm looking crazy right now. I'm gonna go ahead and do that eye, do my base makeup, and then we will come back and try out the rest of the collection. All right, I'm back. I've got my base applied. I also applied some bronzer because that's not part of the Clueless collection. And I figured we could go ahead and finish up the lower lash line. So I'm gonna do basically exactly what I did on the top. I want to apply mostly this on the lower lash line, which is the shade Fat. And then I want to blend that out with Highly Seductive. So we'll kind of have the same vibe going on the lower. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is get kind of like a flat, really soft eyeshadow brush, and I am going to go into that deeper color, which is Fat, and I'm going to apply that as close as I can to the lower lash line. So I'm going to kind of connect it to the top right here. And I'm really going to like press that in right there. And then as I get more towards the center, I'm kind of blending. Now, I don't want to take this deep red more than like where my pupil actually ends. So like the middle. That is where I want to keep that color. All right. And then over here, I'm just gonna deepen this up a little bit. And I always like kind of tap over this with my finger. Okay. Then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take kind of like a little fluffy brush. Actually, I don't know if I want to use that one. I'm going to take a fluffy eyeshadow brush, and it's very soft, just like that other one, just it's a little bit thicker. And I'll show you what I mean. So I've got this one, and then I have this one, and you can see, you know, oops, sorry. You can see the difference in the density of those brushes. So I'm going to take the thicker one, and I'm going to apply Highly Seductive, tap that off, and I'm going to put that like right at the edge and then on around. So right at the edge of where that red shade or maroon shade ended, and then I'm bringing this all the way, you know, in. Okay, now I'm just wiping off that brush, and with a clean brush, I'm gonna go even on the edges of that and just make sure everything is nice and blended. We don't want any harsh lines. And then the very last thing I'm going to do, there wasn't really a shade in this palette I wanted to use as my inner corner. Like the one we used on our brow bone, I probably could use this one right here, but it's more of like a peachy shade. I really want something that's going to accentuate the color we have going on the lid, which is that bright like duochrome pink. So I'm going to take my Mcgrath Highlighter. This thing freaking weighs a ton. Definitely not for traveling, but this is the shade here. It is in Champagne Gold is the shade, but to me this is like such a pretty like pinky highlight. Anytime I'm really going for a pink highlight, this is the one I usually pull for. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to just pop it right in this inner corner. Now, it's not going to be anything insane. Like, I don't want it to be super, super bright. I just want it to have more of like a pinky effect. There we go. Now, in the blush palette from the Clueless collection, there's no highlighter, I don't believe. No, there's no highlighter. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this as a highlight as well. So just going to apply that to all the high points of my face. And I always connect this to the brow here. And I really like to buff a highlighter into the skin. So I use just circular motions. Okay. I'll go ahead and do this one. Now, again, we've already done our brow highlight, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to apply this to the tip of my nose. And right here on the bridge. Cupid's bow. Chin. Right at the highest point of my brow right here. Very, very lightly, and I'm not applying a lot of product. Just to give it, if the sun hit it, a little bit of shine where it would look a little bit sweaty, dewy, moist, whatever you want to say. Okay, I may put a tiny bit more on my cheeks. Not that they really need it, but I love this highlighter. It's so pretty. Okay, now I'm wearing like a lower cut shirt, obviously. Well, it's actually a dress, but I'm going to kind of like pop my collarbone out and apply this to the collarbone. If I'm ever wearing a low cut shirt or a sleeveless shirt, I'll apply it to my collarbone and or my shoulders as well. And then with whatever's left on the brush, I usually just kind of bring it down. There's really nothing on the brush at this point. Just, you know, whatever little remnants. And that is it for the eyeshadow palette. So I'm pretty pleased with the look overall. I mean, what do you guys think? I think it's really pretty. Very easy to work with. I'll do some swatches at the end, but for right now, we're going to continue right along and go into the blush palette. All right, so I've got you guys panned out just a little bit. And the next thing that we're going to go into is the blush palette. And I mean, what? Does it get any cuter? I mean, definitely a collector's piece. Both of these, you know, with the fur and then this being shaped like a cell phone, it's definitely collector items. But how freaking cute. It says, I was just totally clueless. And then you open it up and you've got this little mirror here, little heart mirror, which, I mean, you can use it. It is a usable mirror, but realistically, you're probably not going to. And then you've got 4 blush shades here. So for me, I think I'm going to kind of dip into this pink and this one here. Kind of make it like a shimmery type of a blush moment. I might put this one on first and then apply this one over it just so we can kind of see what the difference is. Again, I will do swatches at the end of this video, but for right now, we're just gonna finish getting ready here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, like I said, and apply this pink. All right, and I am going to kind of tap that off. It doesn't look too pigmented, actually. That's pretty nice. Okay. So that was it alone. And now I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do both of them combined over here on this one. Trying to see it as I apply it. They don't look too much different. To me, when they're mixed, it just kind of makes it like a softer blush overall. But really, it doesn't look too terribly different. So I'm just gonna add some of that shimmer over here. If you were using the shimmer, you really wouldn't need a highlighter. You know, you could just use that and you would get a nice glow. Okay, so I don't have anything extra on my brush. I'm really just kind of like blending. Okay, not bad, not bad. All right. Now, something that I always do, I'm gonna take just this big, it's just a big fluffy brush. This is actually from the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe collection. This is the JH07. I'm not sure if they still sell this, but it's kind of like a dupe for a Tom Ford brush. That is what Jaclyn like modeled it from. And this brush, I just, at the very end of my makeup application, I just kind of take this and blend it on the perimeters of my face. And basically what that does is it's just going to make sure that everything blends seamlessly, because that is the secret. That is the secret to makeup, in my opinion. It's just making sure that everything is really well blended. All right, I am going to curl my lashes, apply mascara, and then we are going to come back and apply the different lip oils. All right, I am back. Everything is done now except the lip. I'm really liking the way that this makeup is looking, like the dress makeup. I think it looks really, really feminine, really girly, really pretty. But let's go ahead and see what we think about the lip products. Now this is the set here. So you get 3 lip oils. And let's see if I can get these out. Ooh, this one is really bright. Okay, do they have names? Dion, Cher, and Ty. That is the names. So I think I'm going to start out with Cher first, because this is the one that I'm the least comfortable with. Go ahead and get this one out of the way. Now let's see if they have like a lot. It actually has some color payoff. I thought, you know, maybe with it being a lip oil that it wouldn't have any color. It feels really good on the lips, which I would expect. But it doesn't feel like too slick, you know, like it's just gonna go away. Actually, not bad. With like a bronze type of a look, I could see this looking really, really pretty. Even with this look, it doesn't look bad. Sorry, I'm looking into a mirror over here. I think I'm going to actually bring you guys in a little bit closer so that you can get a better view. Okay, so I have you guys pulled in a little bit closer. We are going to go into the next shade, which is this one here. This is in the shade Ty. And you can tell this is like my lip color. So literally like my exact lip shade. But I could see putting this, just throwing this in your purse and just reapplying throughout the day when your lips are feeling dry. Very pretty, very juicy. I really like this color. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Okay, our last and final shade here is Dion, and this is the color that I was looking forward to the most. It's like, you know, typical dirty mauvey pink type of a shade. I thought it would look good with what we have on. And this one, again, it's really like a Your Lips but better color. It's almost the exact same shade as my lips. These feel so good going on. I will say too that I like this applicator. I don't know if you can see that little dip in there. Whenever you pull this out, I'm going to show you what it looks like. It really picks up like the perfect amount of product to do your full lip. It holds a good little bit with that dip being in there. But yeah, that was all three of these. Now let's kind of review the whole collection. All right, so let's get some swatches and just overall opinions. I will say that I checked the availability of all of these items today. Everything is on Hipdot's website as of right now. So they also are running a July 4th sale, so I'm not sure when you will be seeing this, but I'll have the promo code in the description. It is just July 4, and that'll save you 30%. And just in general, they run sales a lot, so I would apply for their emails, and I know the first time that you apply, you get 10% off. So if you're looking for anything else on their website or picking up this gorgeous collection, then that may be of interest to you. First thing we're going to talk about is the eyeshadow palette. This retails for $32. And I'm going to go ahead and just give you guys some swatches. So I'm just going to go kind of row by row. All right, so we have Highly Selective and Botticelli. Ooh, that color would be gorgeous on the lid too. Classic. And again, that is like one of those like dewy chromy type of a shades. You can see, and again, there is nothing on my hand. Dry application. And then this is really like a, almost, it looks like a neonish type of a red orange, but that is the shade Full On Monet. All right, next row. Let's get these. All right, this row I'm excited about. So we've got the Valley. Oh my God. What? And then you've got Homies. Rolling with the Homies. Again, gorgeous. Fat, which is that color that we use. I love a good maroon. Brown eyes, I think if you pop on a maroon or like a dark plummy brown, just top notch. And then we also use this one. I totally paused. So just like a shimmery cranberry. Again, almost the same shade. This one is just, has some shimmer, and it is a little bit more of a cranberry as opposed to a maroon. But the Valley, get the heck out of here. What? All right. All right, last row. This is Fashion Victim. Y'all, these shimmers are freaking insane. Then you got Pretty Groovy. I don't even really like blues that much, but that blue is pretty. That is a nice blue. Then you've got Dollface. I feel like a lot of these names relate to Christian. That would be so pretty. Like literally like just that color all over your lid blended into the crease with like a purple shirt. Or like, oh sure, that accents purple. What? And then the one that we used, which is I think my favorite shade in this palette, which is Whatever. And again, you can see that duochrome in that shade. That is one that, like, if you put that over any shade that is darker, it is just going to make it pop and be, it's kind of, it stands alone, but it's also like a topper. So if you put it over a deeper shade, it is just going to transform it. So that is the eyeshadow palette. I love all of the colors. I think, you know, for this being my first time experiencing Hipdot eyeshadows, I was very impressed. Very blendable. Like, there was no fallout on my cheeks. I didn't have to build up the color. Like, it was pretty intense just from the get-go, but it did blend out effortlessly. You saw how quick it took me to do that eyeshadow look. Like, it didn't take me long at all. And I mean, really my only complaint would be, I wish that there was a brown, like a dark brown or like a black. I think it could have really benefited from that, because the look that I have is really about as deep as this eyeshadow palette can go. So I just would have liked to see something that, you know, would serve as to deepen up some looks. But regardless, everything in here, I think, you know, it's swatched beautifully. Again, swatches don't compare to what applies to your eyes, but I had no problems applying these shadows to my lids. I am excited to continue using this. I really want to go into the Valley. That was that swatch that was just like freaking insane. The Valley, and then Classic as well. That one's like a duochrome in Botticelli. So pretty, such a unique palette. I don't have anything else like this in my collection, and I think I'm really going to enjoy it. So $32, I would say it's very well worth it. The next one is the blush palette. This one retails for $26, and let's get some swatches of this as well. Now this, there's no shade names, so I'm just going to kind of go in order. So here we have that pink. This is like a shimmery peachy color. That is really pretty. That would be pretty as an eyeshadow as well. This is that one that we used, this one here, and it's like a shimmery apricot. And then that swatch looks horrible, but let's see if we can just kind of blend it out. That is that last shade. So I actually really like these. I think these two would look gorgeous together. This one, I don't know about wearing that like on my face, to be honest with you. It's kind of, it's a little bit more coppery, like orangey toned than I would really like. If anything, this and this mixed together with only a little bit of that. And then of course you've got that bright pink, which we have on, very wearable actually. So let's see if we can like blend this out. Yeah, you can see how it just, it's very easy to blend this. But yeah, so that is the blush palette. I really like it too. I don't see me getting as much use out of the blush palette as I will the eyeshadow palette, but I do like those shimmery blushes in there, specifically the one that we used. And then as I said, for me, I would use these two very frequently. These two shades here. Now I did like this one. It's what we have on. I think it looks very fresh, but just in general, I mean, the blushes are fine. It applied fine. It doesn't look patchy. There's really no complaints. Just out of the two, I think I will get more use out of the eyeshadow palette. But look at this packaging. Like, if you're gonna pick up this, you might as well pick up this because it's just so adorable. All right, now the last thing is the lip oil set. This set retails for $24, so that's $8 a lip oil. They do feel really nice. I wish that you could just buy like one or the other. However, these are really good. These would be good to apply like whenever you're doing your skincare and you want to have something moisturizing on your lips to kind of like, you know, get you prepped for the day. I think this would be good for that. These would be good, like I said, to just throw in your purse, and when your lips are dry throughout the day, you know, apply these. All the colors are very wearable. I'm gonna go ahead and do some swatches just so we can see. I know I applied them to my lips, but I want to see how they apply on the hand as well, just so we can see the pigment. So there is Dion, and that's the one that I have on my lips. Then we have Thai. And those two shades, like I said, I was like, they both look like a My Lips color. That's because they really don't look too terribly different. One is just more mauve-y and one is more brown. So, and then we have Cher, and this one I was scared of, but it really looked very pretty on the lips. Very like juicy. All of these are very like juicy and moisturizing and just feel really nice. I've had this on my lips for a little while now, and it still feels just as like balmy as it did when I put it on. So there, those are. Out of everything, I would say if you weren't going to pick up something, I could skip these. Although they do feel really nice, but I think obviously the standout of this collection is the eyeshadow palette and the blush palette. So cute. They also have like some sets, so you can get the palette with like some extra pins. I think it comes with like 3 or 4 additional pins that you could put in here. That was $50, so I'm personally not going to spend $18 extra on pins. But they did have a set where you got the lip bundle, the blush, and the eyeshadow palette, as well as like you know, Cher's little fluffy pin, like a little, you know, like an actual pin with a fluff ball on the top of it. That, and it comes in like a locker kind of case. It's cardboard, but it looks like a locker. I don't know. That was $108. So I didn't see paying, you know, 20-ish extra dollars for a pen and a cardboard locker case that I wouldn't keep anyway. But with the 30% off that they have running right now, or additional sales they may have in the future, you guys may want to do that. But I'm really happy with everything that I picked up. The eyeshadow palette definitely by far is my favorite, but I really like this look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. If you picked up any of these pieces, let me know. If you'd like to see any additional looks with it, then let me know as well. But I guess I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day wherever you're at, and I will see you next time. Bye.